We're watching here Rocky Mountain Rebels wearing the white jerseys with the black shorts, playing against this Atlantis U19 team in all black. So Atlantis once again with their famed Roman numerals. This is the first time we've seen the Rocky Mountain boys side on the field, and I'm certain we remember this number 7 with his mullet if we had seen him before.
Yeah,
Number 7 and number 4. Their girls had fantastic braids. Their boys have a unique style.
I believe that's called a Kentucky waterfall.
I don't know. I mean, out west,
the way
might.
that it flows. It just flows nicely. Look at that.
They must be modeling themselves after some of these college players. I saw Conrad Mooneyham from Life University sporting a similar style, and we saw for a while where everyone had their little rat tail braids.
Yeah.
You know, Robert Stortz from Kutztown, one of the players that had that, rocked it for a while.
And we're seeing a lot of Atlantis teams, and a great showing by Atlantis, the entire club, all over the place, all age groups, boys and girls. I mean, they've shown a lot of great rugby today.
Yeah, you know, they do have, this is their U19 team, so they're the team that if you're following online would be listed as Atlantis 1, their U17s listed as Atlantis 2. That's how they made their differentiation between the two teams. And then we saw their women just come off the field. So all their teams playing in the elite bracket this weekend. This Atlantis side, we see they're a full coaching sideline. So once again, Emil's out there, Biddy's out there. I think Kevin Corley, the women's coach, has stuck around. And we see these boys all from Atlantis in their bucket hats. I saw them at City Creek yesterday, their entire squad of all 24 players sporting their white bucket hats to rep the Atlantis Sevens.
That was a great try. It showed great speed there, great pace. Busted around the corner. I mean, that's a great 40-meter try. So you mentioned you're staying in the Radisson.
Yes, I am, right there in downtown Salt Lake City. A bunch of the teams in the tournament all staying there, so it's a packed hotel.
I bet.
Yeah, I was delayed yesterday. I'm not going to lie. My apologies to Clay with Visit Salt Lake. I was getting a workout in the gym, and then I ended up talking with a bunch of parents that were out there working out at the same time. Got asked if I was playing, and I said, no, ma'am, I'm not in high school. But was flattered with the question.
The Radisson is one of our sponsors for this tournament. We're grateful to have them on board with us. It's a great hotel.
Yeah, and you know, they've got some great air conditioning there. Looking forward to get back to my nice and cool room.
Maybe a nice bath.
I would love a nice bath.
Oh my goodness. It is a hot one today.
Yep, so we saw temperatures over 100 degrees all week long here. You know, a heat dome in the Wasatch Valley. It was a cool 80 degrees when I was in Park City yesterday for a little bit of the afternoon.
Cool 80.
It was. So you see this this line out forthcoming. You see challenges from both teams. That was a quick lift from both sides. The throw just not quite on. It is the Rocky Mountain Rebels recovering the ball. Our apologies as we're lacking rosters for both of the teams here. We have some names of the Atlantis players, but not their numbers. It's something that we will fix for tomorrow's action. Rocky Mountain too. We know some of these teams are so incredibly busy with just coordinating travel logistics. A team like this that's drawing from so many different high schools as well. It's a little bit tricky sometimes as their coaches to take on the task of doing so many other things.
And a different tactic we've seen here than we have all day, trying to kick for touch and kicking to space instead of running it out. Typically, we see that all day anyway. We've seen most teams trying to run the ball out of their own try zone.
I like it as this day goes on. It's going to preserve a little bit of energy, and if you're confident in your set pieces, and of course us both being forwards in the 15s game are, if you're going to win your set piece, or if you can just buy yourself a little bit of an extra breather, well, why not do it?
And maybe the mullets might be slowing them down. Maybe that's probably
not quite as aerodynamic as some of the other clubs. It could be. It could be.
Could be.
So we see the scrum here with the line out not straight, the option for the line out of the scrum. Most teams are still going to offer the scrum because it's a little bit more of a secure platform.
Look at that go.
Look at the speed too. This is this Atlantis number 3 in the scrum cap. Number 5 from Rocky Mountain putting on quite the chase. Cut off his own teammate too. They had 2 boys with some speed.
Ooh.
So keep an eye on that. Was that a
try-saving tackle? He just saved that try. What a great change of pace.
And now it's going to be Rocky Mountain trying to go back the other way. This is a hard task. These are the guys that were just involved in that chase too. And it was number 3 getting back quickly after he had that break. And you see Atlantis digging into that poach. There is a penalty forthcoming. He went to poach the ball, and then the ruck was formed.
Left his feet.
We have all the referees behind us affirming that Atlantis player was off his feet. All the referees sticking around to support and watch the rest of the game. That's actually some of the best commentary I've ever done was up in Aspen. And not only did we have all the national panel referees there, they had the referee coaches because they were all getting evaluated, and then we had the coaches that coach the coaches. So I had 3 tiers of referees all telling me exactly what every single call was. But a lot of work with referee development. They actually just named new national panel referees for USA. They actually announced a couple retirements. I know Brian Zapp and Mark Nelson have both retired from their national panel duties.
Oh, wow.
Both gentlemen that are out in Colorado area.
Yeah, we better salute you and give you a shout out as well, both of you.
But it does open the window for quite a few more refs then to step into those B panel and A panel slots.
Right.
And get
now
these
that
national
line out was
assignments.
not thrown in straight, so there's going to be a penalty to Atlantis.
It is not a penalty, it's a scrum.
I think it's the same thing.
A penalty on a line out comes when the ball doesn't go 5 meters.
Okay, semantics.
Or when, you know,
semantics, right?
Defensive numbers and little things. Right, refs? You got my back?
Man, you should get into reffing. See, kids, that's why I need to go into reffing at a young age.
So we see Atlantis looking to go wide, and Rocky Mountain doing a good job to realign. A little bit
speed here. Look at this.
Oh, this is number 6. I remember him from earlier. Rollins was his name, if I recall correctly.
Royale.
Ah, close. Okay. A Royale with cheese, Pulp Fiction. Hey, he set up the Atlantis tries, so it works. It is Atlantis going up 2 tries to none over this Rocky Mountain side in the first half of play. Clock's winding down, about 30 seconds left. We'll see about a time on this kick. There should be time for one last play after this kick is taken. So we are at 10-0, and we will see if this kick is indeed converted. But know a little bit about this Rocky Mountain team just because of the fact that Cody Melfi is one of their coaches. Cody Melfi, a longtime player with the Glendale Raptors, playing on their PRP team. He's now at Life University and was named the South Back of the Year in his debut season with Life U. He traveled with our Stars team to Australia in 2014 to the Central Coast Sevens, and he's just a magnificent young player that's really doing a lot. He is with the men's collegiate All-Americans. They're taking a tour to Australia, and rumor has it that he may be staying on in Australia after for a good 10 to 12 weeks and taking part in an exchange program there.
It'll be a great learning experience.
So he's actually one of the coaches with this Rocky Mountain team, not here this weekend because of all his other ongoing rugby duties, and he's doing this all. He should have had surgery on his hand about 6 months ago. So he's been playing with massive tape and had to relearn the pass and adjust to having the amount of tape he needs on his hands too.
Wow.
So they're a well-coached program. I know there's a lot of other coaches involved with this Rocky Mountain team. On their women's side, they list about 4 or 5 different coaches, all the different high schools that they're pulling from. We'll see what adjustments they make at halftime as we go into a 12-0 lead for Atlantis Rugby at the half. 1 game and a half left to go here in this first day of the North American Invitational. And we're back for the second half here. We are watching Atlantis Rugby U19 take on the Rocky Mountain Rebels here at the Regional Athletic Complex. I think they should just rename it the Rugby Athletic Complex.
You know they should. I think I know some people. I'll go put that in the suggestion box.
I mean, if you made me mayor of Salt Lake, if I move here, then we'll make it happen.
I'll be your campaign manager. You know the city better than I do, and I've lived here for a long time.
No, that was just because of the time that Clay Partain and Visit Salt Lake took. I mean, they came and picked me up in their little mountain mobile, advertising Snowbird and Alta and Brighton. And what's the other one? Snow Canyon out there? There's one more.
No, Brighton and Solitude.
Solitude, that's it. Yes, I knew it was another S. So yeah, it took me out to Park City, took me all around Salt Lake, went around Temple Square, saw City Creek Mall, talked about the restaurants and all the the bars and the restaurants, the development of downtown, this new light rail system, the expansion of the airport. There's so much that makes Salt Lake such a favorable destination. And I also have to give a shout out and a big thank you to Banks from Broadway Media. Jared Danielson took me out for lunch on my first day here too and was giving me the lay of the land here in Salt Lake. So I understand he hosts that Top 40 radio show.
I think we have futures in radio, maybe?
I mean, they had ESPN there. We were going to try to get on to promote the tournament. So if anyone from ESPN Radio wants to have an evening interview with either of us, we'd be happy to come and take over your studio.
Well, we had an instance here with a kick and chase, a little chip through, and he had a try within his reach. I think he got a little overexcited and just dropped the ball, took his eye off the ball, and it was a perfectly weighted kick. It bounced right up into his hands. Hey, we've all been there. It happens.
This is one of the longer scrums of the tournament. Look at this too. He's scrum half action here. The ball was slow to come out, kind of came out, so it allowed the Atlantis scrum half to attack and try to get that tackle on Rocky Mountain. Rocky Mountain maintaining possession of the ball on the far side of the field, but advantage shown to Atlantis. We see our referee with his advantage arm out, and now it's a penalty whistled. So we see the referee indicating the mark, and that is Royale with the ball. Number 6 with the steppies.
Great step.
No one's even, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, there's nothing you can't do in that. That's just great athleticism.
You know, he reminds me of a bit is that tall player from Portugal.
No.
The similar hairstyle.
Is it Cedric from South Africa?
Oh, you got Cecil Africa.
Cecil
Or
Africa.
Sabala Sanatla.
Yeah.
Yeah, players. I just meant with the hairstyle though. He's got the same hairstyle. It's that tall. He's usually wearing number 1 for Portugal. But yeah, no, the game awareness there.
He reminds me of Cecil Africa.
Yes, his steppies are spot on.
And that step was just incredible. That was awesome.
That's why he's got the gold boots.
He's earned them.
He's backing it up. We'll give him that.
Didn't Michael Johnson start that?
Subs have to check.
Mid-90s in the Olympics, the gold track shoes.
You know, I can't recall, but I do remember from the time all those Dan versus Dave promos for the decathlon and everything, and Reebok getting involved.
That's old school.
It was quite old.
Speaking of Olympics, we're really excited for the rugby sevens to be included for the first time. Is rugby back in Olympics for the first time since 1924?
Yes, and the USA are the reigning champions. They actually have one of those Olympic jerseys that goes on tour, so it's something we can say we're the champions of the Olympics. We'll see if we can defend our title with the men's side. Of course, that was the 15s game that was played. We do. The men last year, when they won that London Sevens tournament, it was the first time we'd won a World Series stop. Had made some appearances in finals before, notably in Vegas at one point. But to break through and get that win. And we saw a lot of other first-time winners this year. We saw Kenya had not won in the past, if I can recall. And if they had, it been quite some time ago. Scotland won one of those series legs. Samoa won one of the series legs.
It's been the year of the upset this year.
But is it that much of an upset, or is this the year of equalization?
Well, maybe you could think egalitarian year.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you look at even in soccer, you've got Leicester winning the Premiership, and you've got all these new emerging rugby nations. I mean, it's leveling the playing field. It's been fun to see.
It is. You know, it's the skills of the coaching, the technical breakdowns. Everyone's getting the catch pass. Everyone's getting super fit. Looking at the nutrition aspects of how people are just using their diet and all the tools that comes into the game, and having the calm and composure. This is a nice job. This Atlantis number 3 with his gray scrum cap on. We've seen quite a few balls bounce his way, and he's got sure hands every time. There was that one kick he just barely missed, but you can't really fault him on that.
He just knows where to be and how to get there. He's well positioned every single time. Every time I've watched him with ball in hand, I'm watching him off the ball, though, and just watching him place himself to be in the right position to get the ball.
Something else, too, worth noting with the way that he's running. He's got 2 hands on the ball, but he's carrying the ball under his shoulders. So he's not using his arms to swing out this pass. He's using his core. We talk about using rifles versus guns and using your pistols to pass, too. He's in a position where he's running, and he's running forward, but he's able to make that quick flick pass.
Did you used to teach PE class to kindergartners?
Nope.
Because that's the same analogy I used to use when I teach the...
Well, I got a 6-year-old son, so sometimes you break rugby down to its simplest terms. A lot of people get really creative and, try to be football-esque, too, with all these crazy things. But no, I learned a lot of my passing from the great Julie McCoy. So, Jules out there.
Not rifles. I mean, I love Love that analogy. It's great.
9 for 3.
So we see substitutions coming on for Atlantis. Number 9 entering the field of play, taking off number 3. So tip of the hat to the gray scrum, tip of the scrum cap, if you will, to number 3. He's done a lot of work this match. He's certainly earned his starting position with this Atlantis program.
Yeah, what a player. What a player indeed.
So as we go throughout the tournament, we've been keeping notes too. There are going to be some all-tournament teams selected, and I think Matt and I get to do the honors. If you have some thoughts on the players that you've been impressed by, please do let us know. Especially, some of the other fields that we haven't been able to get all the action on. We know there are other fans and players who have been watching them, but out on fields 2, 3, and 4, we'll of course be consulting with the referees as they have the bird's eye view of all the action. But if you are watching at home and you have players to nominate for the tournament team across all these different brackets and divisions, you can reach out via the NAI Sevens Facebook, or you can tweet me either at Liz Entwistle or at Stars Rugby Sevens. Happy to take your input because this fan experience is a lot of what rugby's about too. We're hoping that you're enjoying the day as much as we are here at the Salt Lake City Regional Athletic Complex. It looks like Atlantis is going to try to steal this Rocky Mountain scrum. You see them primed and ready to drive. A little bit of a wheel here. The referee is allowing it to play, but calls the penalty. And he's going to call it on that very wheel, I believe. Perhaps offsides with the way that the scrum did wheel around. So his hand signals seem to indicate offside as a result of that wheel. Rocky Mountain with the penalty, trying to get something to break through. It has Atlantis, though, turning the ball over. And once again, another penalty to Rocky Mountain. Looks like there may have been an offsides call there. And here is one of our mulleted twins from Rocky Mountain. He's got a little bit of the swerve. You saw him duck that shoulder down.
Absolutely.
So it was either 4 or 7. It looks like it was 4 because it's 7 with the ball right now.
He got game. He got game.
You see advantage though. Ball knocked on. Advantage to Atlantis. Royale trying to kick the ball through. With advantage, you might as well, because the worst thing it's going to do is going to be called back.
Absolutely.
At this point, the game is going to end. And we have 24-0 to the Atlantis Blacks. So this Atlantis U19 team, we may be on a collision course of Atlantis U19s and U17s playing each other. We'll look at the seeding for the quarterfinals.
I think we're still sticking to the, are we sticking to the U17s winning that game?
I'm going to stick with the U17s. I like this U19 team. They did just play a fantastic game.
They did.
But I'm impressed with the U17s. Like, I think their rugby IQ, their quick reactions, and they're just younger and a little